Alright, you lot. You've chucked questions at me like I'm final boss at Feedback Forum, and today I'm answering every single one with love, care, and fire a napalm shower at a LAN party. Splitgate 2's matchmaking, XDefiant's corpse, marketing fuck-ups, broken crossplay, ghost hit markers, and unholy ritual or Americanising British TV. Yeah, strapping. This is Hey Scotty, and it's time we said what half at player base has been screaming into the void. This question comes from DrawnNet over on Twitter, who asks, Hey Scotty, do you think Splitgate 2 needs to add choosing play mode? If I have to play Split Ball or Firecracker again, I might lose will to live. Mate, yeah. Not just should, must. Mode selection into nice to have in 2025. It's a bare minimum fucking feature for any multiplayer shooter pretending to respect your time. We've already seen them split TDM into its own queue, so we know 10.7 can do it. But right now, you want to play Splitgate 2, you gotta roll dice every match. Get stuck in Firecracker, bad luck. Split Ball, grab rope, you're done. It's like trying to enjoy a buffet where every third plate is a turd sandwich. And here's kicker, it's not even on public priority list. Not mentioned, not into that. So unless players start shouting, note's changing. This is part where community pressure actually matters. Get loud on Twitter, light up Discord, make some fucking noise. Cause 1047 will respond, if enough people scream same thing at same time. Thanks for the question, DrawnNet. I'll see you in ranked, far away from Split Ball, hopefully. This next one's also from DrawnNet, who asks, do you think playing XDefiant without SBMM has made us better players? I seem to be doing much better in this game than I would have in a new game from start before playing XD. Mate, you're not imagining it. When you take off SBMM training wheels, you actually start learning to ride fucking bike. And not Peloton version where it screams at you to keep pushing while adjusting your dopamine intake behind scenes. XDefiant gave players room to breathe. You could have a great match, a shit match, an insane match. That's how we used to learn, before matchmaking turned every shooter into a carefully curated anxiety treadmill. It's like walking into school and being dropped straight into advanced maths class cause your handwriting were above average. Or joining a gym where they handcuff you to the same dumbbell forever, for balance. Or starting a new job and being put in charge of HR and payroll on your first day. That's what SBMM does. It kills growth, kills experimentation, kills fun. And now XDefiant's gone. We're back in matchmaking meat grinder. Except maybe Splitgate 2, which feels loose enough to actually let players improve. For now, appreciate insight, DrawnNet, rip XDefiant, and rip casual fun. This next one comes from Furkinell, who asks, Hey Scotty, do you think SBMM what real reason people didn't catch on to XDefiant, hence why numbers dropped so fast? Yes. Full stop. Not only reason, but definitely one at biggest. And it's not about game, it's about players. Let's talk about COD Crowd. They've spent years being drip-fed victories through ultra-aggressive SBMM, tight matchmaking, managed lobbies, artificially tuned dopamine hits every few rounds to keep them logged in. So at the moment they boot up a game that don't coddle them, they fall apart. Oh, it's too sweaty. No, you're too fragile. You've been raised in a matchmaking padded cell, and now you've been thrown into an actual fucking fate. And here's kicker, Splitgate 2's got SBMM, and they're still saying it's too sweaty. They don't want to play a shooter, they want to be handed wins at exactly right times so dopamine hits and they feel good about the session. At this point, I wouldn't even call Call of Duty a game. It's a fucking dopamine dispenser with a gun skin on it. And SBMM ain't just hurting new games, it's warping player base so hard that no else can stick. So yeah, XDefiant didn't die cause it were bad, it died cause its target audience were already broken. Cheers for that, Furkinell. This banger also comes from Furkinell, who asks, over years, hundreds of film and TV remakes of classic shows have been ruined by Americanization. Which film or TV show do you think deserves a full remake? Now this is a loaded question, cause yeah, Americanization ruins shit. Not always, but often enough that British viewers start sweating the moment a studio exec says, let's modernise this. Let's take stock at war crimes. Doctor Who TV movie. Paul McGann were a banger, but Tom felt like Doctor Who got lost in Walmart and regenerated into Grey's Anatomy. It's canon now, sure, but it damn near killed franchise. American Red Dwarf pilot, like watching your favourite curry turned into soggy cheese sandwich with none at spice and all at wrong smeghead. And don't get me started on that so-called Avengers movie. Not Marvel lot, real Avengers. John Steed, bowler hat, charm. Movie were cosplay with brain damage. Zero wit, zero grit, just leather, cliches and embarrassment. And to be fair, it's not just Americans screwing it up. British reboots of Van der Valk and Bergerac, stale, lifeless. Trying so hard to be original they forgot to be good. Meanwhile, Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer nailed Randall and Knockurt Deceased by doing their own way. Fresh, weird, and unapologetically them. That's how you do a remake. Respect bones, add new blood. Now as for what deserves a remake, Blake 7, ragged sci-fi rebellion, moral grey zones, perfect for a modern audience if done gritty and right. Goodnight Sweetheart, with proper writing, could land as a time travel drama that's more emotional gut punch than nostalgia fluff. Avengers, a proper go, rooted in British identity, not some leather-drenched Hollywood fanfic. And any at Jerry Anderson catalogue. Imagine Captain Scarlet, Space Precinct, UFO, or Thunderbirds done in live action with proper lore, strong tone, not whiff of Marvel quips. And yeah, Space 1999 is getting revived as Space 2099, courtesy of ITV Studios America. Cautiously optimistic, brief to vote with tone, I'll be first in line to beam down with a baseball bat. Just for a question, Firkinell. God save our telly. And wood chippers for anyone who says, what if we made Blackadder American? This one comes from Tonyist on Discord who asks, do we want our games to be sales platforms? Grey Zone Warfare is now going to have in-game food items that they also sell IRL. If this becomes acceptable, do we run risk of our games becoming almost storefronts? Oh, we're already there, mate. We left risk stage 2 monetization cycles ago. This isn't a cheeky Easter egg or a fun cross promo. This is capitalism creeping into your crosshairs. Let's get something straight. A collab is a fucking skin, a joke, a reference, a cosmetic you can ignore. But this is product placement baked into gameplay loop. Start altering snacks, lootable brand items. You're not just seeing it, you're interacting with it. You're being trained to associate performance with a fucking snack bar. What's next? Kill streaks that drop Amazon packages. NPCs that offer G Fuel samples and vote next objective. A fast travel point called sponsored by Uber Eats. We're not even players anymore. We're influencers in a digital shopping mall, being psychologically nudged like rats in a monetized maze. GTA 6 better not have me drive past a fucking Aldi on way to Heist. Brilliant question, Tonyist. Next time someone tells me this is just fun bonus, I'm sending them your way with a receipt and a half-melted protein bar. Pyro Friendly Arsonist 9195 dropped this in, asking, any thoughts on drama surrounding Splitgate 2 BR? Like, don't play it mode then. I didn't. Exactly, mate. People here let us BR and lose their fucking minds. It's like trigger word now. Oh no, not a battle royale. That means they're abandoning arena. They've sold out. They've Fortnite at portals. Calm down, Karen. What they've actually done is take tech down, stretch it out, and add dynamic pacing across a bigger map. It's not Apex, it's not Warzone, it's tech down with legs. Same tension, same clutch moments, same art plays, just scaled. And yeah, I've seen other complaints. It's just a bunch of mid-maps held together by portals. Yeah, and that's what makes it fucking brilliant. Show me another game where you can flank through time and space with a frag launcher and a bat art. Where verticality ain't just a gimmick, it's survival. Where controller a portal angle wins game. Problem ain't mode. Problem is people expecting a cookie cutter BR or a carbon copy of Arena and getting something new instead. You don't like it? Don't queue for it. But don't pretend this ain't one of the most unique spins on Battle Royale we've seen in years. Nice and Pyro, you're spot on. Just queue what you like and let mod speak for itself. Next up, Jack Left Hand 427 on YouTube asks, what do you think about current content creator event in Splitgate 2? I saw Nadeshot was screaming COD while his team in challenge were losing hard. It just felt wrong. It didn't just feel wrong, Jack. It looked like fucking PR on goal wearing Nadeshot's merch. Let's be clear. I don't know what guy's contract said. Maybe your TikTok box has 1047 needed. But if your team's getting rolled 1,000,000 points behind and you're streaming Call of Duty instead of leading charge, that ain't a vibe. That's middle finger to community and devs. This is what happens when studios spend marketing budget on names, not champions. Nadeshot's a brand, a COD legacy, but it's not a Splitgate grinder. And when you pay influencers who aren't emotionally invested, you get exactly what you paid for. surface level hype, zero staying power. These events should be about people who give a shit. Splitgate's had a dedicated community since day one. Portal maniacs, Halo refugees, arena rats. They'd kill for a spotlight, but instead it went to someone who bailed mid-promo. And you know what? Fans notice. Players notice. And your question proves it wasn't just a few salty Reddit comments. Top tier question, Jack. More honesty in that one post than most influencer campaign manage across a 6-month roadmap. This one's from Ian Elliott 8272. Evening, Scotty. PS5. Crossplay on. Wi-Fi at 7 AM. An only problem I've experienced, and not often, is ghost hit markers. Would turning crossplay off make a difference? Short answer? Maybe, but probably not for what reason you think. Let's unpack this like a network diagnostic report soaked in tears. Ghost hit markers? That's desync. That's server saying, nice shot. While database goes, nah mate, never happened. It's not usually about crossplay, it's about your connection path to the server. Now don't get me wrong, console versus PC matchups can cause friction. But in this case, you're on Wi-Fi, which already adds a bit of jitter. Plus whatever your ISP is doing. Plus whatever server you're being routed to through maze of routers and regional spaghetti. Crossplay could be adding pressure, but honestly, it's more likely its server's just not close enough. And your packets are going on a fucking pub crawl before they get to match. If you want to test it, try turning crossplay off for a few sessions. Plug in via Ethernet if you can. Track it, see what changes. That's how we QA invisible stuff. But trust me, you're not crazy. Ghost bullets are real, and they're not your fault. The reason I need an entire video just to explain why your perfect lined up headshot turned into didn't hit him on my screen, bro. Great question, Ian. Cheers for keeping your router awake at 7 AM. And this one's from Ages444 on YouTube who asks, do you prefer Fargo movie or TV series? Also, what would you do with Satchel and money? Right, confession time. I've seen neither. Not movie, not show, and I'll tell you why. Back when Fargo film came out, I saw a trailer and thought, nope, looked like snow, sadness and sweaters. No dragons, no robots, no revenge demons screaming in Japanese, just depressing Midwestern accents and a plot that moved like a stoned tractor. Also, I'd just turned 18, and at that point in life, only entertainment I were interested in came with high chance of prison, STDs, or waking up in a hedge with half a kebab and someone else's shoes. Fargo didn't stand a fucking chance. And once I skipped film, I figured show wasn't happening either. Still am, not sorry. As for that Satchel and money, first I'm investing in a QA facility under a fucking mountain, where all we do is scream at netcode and track desync like ghost hunters with PhDs. Then I'm buying server space to host every good game that's been abandoned by lazy publishers. I'll preserve XDefiant with my own bare hands if I have to. And finally, I'm putting up a billboard outside Activision's HQ that says, tick rate is not a myth, in blinking red LEDs, we're built in our own. And if there's alt left, I'm buying a life-size animatronic dragon that breathes smoke and roars every time someone says skill issue. Legend question ages. Thanks for ending this chaos on a cultured high note. Sorta. And that's your lot for this round of Hey Scotty. Splitgate drama, broken matchmaking, sweaty lobbies, telecrimes, and tech nightmares. All roasted, toasted, and served with a cider. You were thinking it, I just said it. Got a question in your own? Drop it in comments. Or join Discord, follow on X, and scream it at me like a laggy death cam. Consider a channel membership, because unlike Splitball, you can opt out at any time. Smash like, hit subscribe, and bring chaos next week. Now see you next time, you magnificent.